share health and fitness tips for moms. How are y'all doing? Another video, another week. I'm doing okay. My husband has been out of town for like a week now. It is, I'm ready for him to come back. I'm ready for him to come back. We made 3 kids together. He needs to come back here and help me with them. And of course, I very much miss him. But yeah, ready for him to come back. Definitely. The kids haven't been terrible, but like when you're used to 2 parenting it and you go into 1 parenting it, it's a lot. So, but other than that, I'm doing well. I did a run yesterday. I just told myself, right? 20-minute jog. We're just gonna do a 20-minute jog, see how it goes. I think I ran like 1.63 miles, so I was feeling pretty good about that. For the record, am a very slow runner, but that's okay. I got out there, I got it done, I felt good. It was a good workout, I felt strong, I was really happy about it. So that is how I'm doing this week. On to today's topic. So today I wanted to share a quote with you that is really, really good. Now, for some of y'all, this is gonna kind of be that like, oh dang, you ever have somebody say something to you and you're like, oh, it hurts because it's true. Well, this might be one of those things for you. Just a smidge of tough love, but it was one of those quotes that when I read it, I was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, can't pretend it's not about that anymore. So here it is. Okay, you ready? And this is really good if you are somebody who struggles with fear of missing out, if you're struggles with feeling like, oh, it's not fair that I have to make all these efforts, that I have to eat this way and so doesn't. Like, if you have a hard time with that, listen up. You ready? Okay. All right, this is going to be a good one. Okay. Nobody else has to live with the consequences of your life. Nobody else. So, how you eat, you have to deal with that. How you exercise, those are the consequences you have to deal with. And so often we get so caught up in what other people are doing. So for example, and here's one that I hear a lot, and this is actually one that for a long time was a hard time for me. Like, it's not fair that I have to eat a certain way and my husband doesn't. It's not fair, right? Like, why do I have to cater to what I'm eating when it doesn't seem to affect him? He doesn't seem to have this problem, right? Like me personally, when I eat wheat and I eat flour and stuff, it's like instant weight gain. And when I stop eating it, it makes a big difference. My husband's over there eating a bowl of sugary cereal every night and he ain't got the same problems as me, right? Like, it's not fair. But here's the thing, like, I'm the one who has to live with how I eat. And so it doesn't even matter what he's got going on because I don't live in his body. I live in mine, and this is how mine operates. And so how I eat's gonna have consequences for me, And so also here's something else, like sometimes you're going out, you're out with friends, whatever, and it's like, oh, I don't want to miss out. Like, oh, they're eating this. I don't want to miss out on that, right? Like, you're eating this, right? We go out somewhere, and my husband's got some French fries, and I love some French fries, and it's like, I want French fries, right? I don't like feeling left out. Or if we're going out to eat, everybody's having dessert, I want dessert too, right? Like, I don't want to be the one who doesn't get to have those things. But here it is again. Nobody else has to live with the consequences of eating that but me. I'm the only one. So it doesn't matter what they're eating. It doesn't matter what they got going on, because what matters is what I do, because I have to live with the consequences of it, right? So I have to live with how my body reacts if I eat dessert too many times. Nobody else. You know what I mean? I have to deal with what happens if I don't exercise regularly. Nobody else. It does not matter what anybody else is doing, right? Like, I can't let that determine what I do because I have to live with the consequences of my body. So I have to live with what it feels like when I'm overweight and uncomfortable. I will be the one who has to feel like, to deal with having to spend 35 minutes getting dressed because nothing looks good and everything makes me feel terrible when I put it on. Like that used to be me. It used to take me forever to get dressed because I felt like I had like 3 shirts that didn't make my stomach look terrible. I had 2 pairs of pants that I could wear comfortably. And every time I'd go to get dressed, it was just depressing and upsetting because none of my clothes fit well. But I didn't want to go buy new clothes because then I had to admit that my weight was becoming a problem and that I needed to do something about it, And so every day I would deal with this drama. And I was the one who had to deal with that based off of my eating and exercising choices. Nobody else. And so every time I want to get caught up in what other people are doing and it's not fair that I have to do X, Y, and Z, I remind myself I'm the one who has to live with consequences of that. Like, it's me, it's my life. Whatever I do or don't do, I'm the one it affects, nobody else. And so I also use this sometimes to kind of help motivate myself. Like when I'm out somewhere, right? Or for example, today I'm gonna take my kids to the park and I'm gonna meet some friends. And while I'm there and I'm hanging out, I'm gonna take some time to go walk and get my exercise in. And sometimes for some people, like, oh, that's weird, or like, well, I don't want people to look at me, or what are people gonna think? And it's that same very thing. Nobody else has to live with the consequences but me. So when I go exercise, like, people can think whatever they want. I know for a fact I'm gonna feel better, I'm gonna look better, it's gonna be worth the time and effort. And it don't matter what anybody else is thinking about it, because who's living my life? Me. So who's gonna benefit when I go exercise? Me. And it's the same thing with all these decisions, all these healthy habits, right? Like if I'm drinking a bunch of water and I'm carrying water around and nobody else is, it don't matter, because who's gonna benefit from drinking all that extra water? Me, right? Same thing when I go do workouts at the park, right? I did a run yesterday. I was telling you about the run I did. I did it at the tennis practice yesterday. When I was at tennis practice, Tommy and Peanut were just Tommy and Jiz were hanging out. Peanut had tennis practice, and the other moms were just sitting, and I ain't even talking about them, like whatever, they were doing their thing, but I went and got my run in because that was the best time I could get it done. The kids were occupied, I had nowhere else to be, nothing else to do, right? So I got it done. And in the past, I've been like, oh, well, I don't want to be the only one, but I'm like, hey, you know what? These are the results that I want. This is the best opportunity for me to get it done. And other people's opinions don't matter when I'm doing what's best for me, right? Because I'm the only one who has to live with the consequences of my life. So I'm the one who's going to benefit from that workout. It don't matter what anybody else is doing. That was what worked for me. And that, like, I just want you guys to think about that. Like, every time you're like, oh, but what's somebody else going to think? Or it's not fair. Or that makes me weird or different or strange. Or what is people going to think? Like, people look at me like, I used to do strength workouts at soccer practice. Because again, I'm the only one who has to live with the consequences of my life, good and bad. So I'm the one who's gonna have to live with the consequences of my life if I don't get that workout in, right? Like the moms who might be whatever, they're thinking like, okay, it's so weird that she exercises at the park, you know, whatever. They're thinking whatever they want. They don't have to deal with how I feel when I don't get my workouts in, how I feel when my weight starts getting controlled. They don't have to deal with that. Only I do. So their opinion doesn't matter. Their opinion doesn't matter about what I eat. Their opinion doesn't matter about how I exercise. Their opinion doesn't matter about my healthy habits, the things that I do that help me feel fit and strong and confident in my body. Their opinion doesn't matter about that. And so I don't have to care what they think, because I'm the one who has to live in my body. I'm the one who has to deal with the consequences of my decisions. Nobody else. Therefore, nobody else's opinion matters, okay? So if you're going to the gym and you're like, what are people gonna think? Does not matter, because you're the only person who has to deal with the consequences of whether you go or not. So it doesn't matter what they think. You know, if you're deciding to eat a salad instead of pizza and your husband's like, really? You're not eating pizza? Does not matter, because you are the one who's gonna deal with the consequences of whether you eat the pizza or you eat the salad. You are the only one who's gonna deal with it. The eating decisions you make, the sleeping decisions, the healthy habits you do, whether you exercise or not, whether you meal plan, whether you meal prep, whether you say yes to this or that, whether you eat 2 cookies or 5, you are the only one who deals with the consequences of that. So you are the only one whose opinion really matters in this. You're the only one who gets to decide if it's worth your time and effort, if it's a good decision to make, if it's something that you want to spend your time on. Like, you're the only one who matters when it comes to this stuff, because you're the one who has to live with the consequences. Your husband does not have to deal with what it feels like the next day when you wake up and you feel like crap and you don't feel good, and you know you overate the night before, and you step on the scale and it's telling you things you don't like to see, and you have to, like I said, spend forever getting dressed in the morning, and then you're over here kicking yourself because you're like, man, I was doing so good, but then I messed up, and then I got to start over the next day, and going through all that crap, right? You're the one who's going to have to deal with it, not your husband, not anybody else who thinks they want to have opinions about the things that you're doing to eat well and exercise and feel better physically, okay? Like, none of their opinions matter, because they don't have to live with the consequences of the decisions you make, just you. So I really want you guys to take this and remember this and remind yourself of this. The next time you get caught up thinking about what anybody else has to say about what you do, with your health and fitness and how you eat and how you exercise and your healthy habits, like, what they say doesn't matter. What they think doesn't matter, because you are the only one who has to live with the consequences of the decisions that you make. Just you, okay? So, forget them. Do what is right for you. Make the effort. Do the things. Don't worry about what other people think, okay? Because, like I said, it's about you. It's about your journey. It's about you feeling good and feeling better. And I want to tell you right now, I used to worry about that. And then I was like, okay, forget them, because this is important. And I need to do this. And I'm going to do it and whatever. And I'll tell you right now, A, people don't care about us nearly as much as we think they do. And B, is the other side is worth it, because now when I'm over here and I've lost my weight and I feel fit and I feel strong and I feel healthy and I feel good in myself and I've learned all these things I can do, I really don't care anymore. This is better. This is better than sitting at tennis practice talking to people who may or may not even like me to begin with. I don't even know. And going home and being upset about how I feel all the time. It's better. It's better. And you know what? It's not even like I didn't get to chat with them later anyways. But I got my workout done first. That was the important thing. I felt better. I felt good. I did the thing that was right for me. Right? Then that's what we all need to be doing anyways. Okay, so that's what I got for y'all today. I hope you're doing well. I'll talk to y'all soon. Bye.